What's up, fight fans? What a do this Sunday morning, man. Hope you're having a good morning, getting this coffee in to kick off this show. Hold on a second here. Bam. Gotta turn that off. All right. So, fight fans, we had an amazing weekend, Cinco de Mayo weekend kickoff in boxing. We had the Mexican monster, David the Monster Benavidez, and we had the Japanese monster, Naoya the Monster Inoue. Now, I have to admit, man, it depends what you're like really into in boxing, in the sport of boxing. We're going to be covering all that. There were a lot of remarks on both sides. Fans quickly went to social media and voiced their opinions of what they thought on the fights and each card. And we're here to break down all that, and did both cards live up to expectation? And is this what boxing, where is boxing headed? Are we headed towards a new David the Monster Benavidez era? Can David the Monster Benavidez become what? The face of boxing. Yes, I said it. Yes, I said it. So, listen, tune in. Please give the videos a like. Yo, we hit that 5,000 mark. Let's get to that next mark. Let's get this channel up to 10,000 subscribers. So, fight fans, lock in, tune in. Don't forget to subscribe, become a Round One Sports Talk member, and like always, let's hop right into this episode. Woo, we got a lot to unpack. Good morning. Do you think anyway rematch or going to 126? Let's get right into that. Let's get right into that, kids. Forever. Since you asked the question first, we'll get right into that. I don't think there's no rematch. No. It wasn't really that competitive, close of a fight, more than a dangerous fight. I think that both men answered a lot of questions. Junto wanted to know, how do I fare against the likes of what many view as the one of the best fighters in our era right now? So Junto got that, his questions. He really thought he could go in there and win the fight. Shout out to Junto. And when I sit back and I think about the fight, and you know what they're going to say right away, which fighter had the tougher fight between Naoya Inoue and Junto and David the Monster Benavidez and Zurdo Ramirez? That's what they're going to say. And they're going to say, who is the real monster here? Who performed better? And by first impression, if you were to look at it, right, David the Monster Benavidez stopped Zurdo. And then what they're going to say is, who had the better opposition? Who had the bigger challenge? Remember, I was all over social media telling you that David the Monster Benavidez, if he pulls this shit off, you're going to have to give him credit for a 25-pound weight jump, which is 5 weight divisions. If you break it down, that's a big task. Zurdo came in. I would love to know what Zurdo came into that fight. And that's why a lot of onlookers, a lot of guys that have been in the game reporting it for a very long time said, yo, that is one of the best performances I have ever seen. No one, listen, we thought that David had the ability, and I said it, to win the fight. But did I think that David the Monster Benavidez was going to knock out Zurdo like that? And I think he broke his orbital bone. It's not official. I haven't, got up this morning and checked it out. If you know something about it, let me know. But yo, that eye swole like this. Like instant. Once he took his glove off, yo, his eye was already closed. Right? So that goes to the punching power. When other people said, yo, round one, David the Monster Benavidez is going to punch stronger and harder at the heavier weight because now he doesn't have to cut weight. I was like, I don't know about that. Boop. What do you do? Boop. Night, night. He needs milk. Yo, listen. Good performance, man. That's a big challenge. Okay? Then what you got to do is you can't just stop right there. Can't just say, okay, that does it for me. David had the bigger obstacle. No. Why would you think that? Okay. Now, what else did Zurdo bring to the equation? You got to add the 2 belts. You have to. He was the world champion, not David. So David took the 2 belts and became champion. You got to add that into the equation, right? Zurdo is also a 2-division world champion. You got to add that into the equation. Then also in world title fights in Zurdo's career, he has 7 world title fights, right? Okay. He only fought 4 current or former world champions throughout his career. He only had 7 world title fights, and out of them, 4 of them were either former or current world champions. And then I guess you could tack on David the Monster Benavidez, that would be 5. But he doesn't have him in the winning column. Okay, because he lost his fight. So, and Zurdo has a loss to Demetrius Bivol. So Zurdo was not an undefeated fighter. He already knows what it's like to lose. So he's not an undefeated fighter. He's a 2-division world champion. He had 2 belts on the night he fought David the Monster Benavidez. And David the Monster Benavidez came up 25 pounds to fight him and stopped him. That's what you got right there on that side. Now there's Naoya Inoue's opponent and what he did. Okay, let's check this out. I'm pretty familiar with Junto, but just in case, you always got to run a fact check because somebody will call you on these boxing streets. So you got to have your shit right. Okay. So what is Junto? Okay. First of all, let's start here. Junto has fought 7 current or former world champions. So he already fought more than Zurdo. And out of the 7, he knocked out 5 of them. Okay? Zurdo didn't knock out any of his, but I think he has 1. Yes, he has 1. Zurdo has 1 knockout. Junto fought 7 and knocked out 5. Junto is a 3-division world champion. Zurdo's a 2. Junto was a current. He moved up. He vacated the belts and he went up. So he was a unified world champion. No one beat him for those belts. So technically, he was a unified world champion. He just didn't have belts going into the fight. But he's undefeated. 3 divisions. Now, depending how you view fights, right? Let's talk about what happened in the night and the style of opponent and the difficulty level of their fighters. David the Monster Benavidez fought Zurdo. He stood right in front of him. He was there to be hit. Not a lot of movement, right in front of him. Not a lot of skill. David the Monster Benavidez weathered the storm, picked his shots, fired off on him. There was at times that Zurdo was even having a little success in the fight, Mike Tyson even said when they interviewed him, yo, he needs to let this guy stop hitting him and start working the jab because Zurdo was landing a couple shots. It was getting a little like, like, yo, David. But David knew what he was doing. David was in there. He's the closest person to him. He knew what he was doing. So David proved everyone wrong, right? So, okay. What did Naoya Inoue and Junto's fight look like? Well, that, my friends, that looked like a joust, a fencing match, like a joust match. They look like two cats in the ring. That's what they look like. Yo, that was high level, skilled boxing. Every punch was earned. Wasn't like Junto was standing in front of Naoya Inoue and allowing him to punch on him. And they were just trying to like bob and weave on every punch. That wasn't that kind of fight. Junto and Naoya Inoue, every single punch, you had to earn it. That was a fucking highly skilled boxing match. And I'm not laying it on thick here. It really depends what you're in. If you're gonna allow the knockout to the ooh, which is one of the biggest moments, it's like the slam dunk in basketball. You could shoot your lights out. You could be Curry. It depends what you're into. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, that fight against Junto and Naoya Inoue, man, that was boxing at its finest. They looked like two mongoose. They were a mongoose and a cobra. They were like, yo, it was crazy, bro. And like, then Naoya slid in there like that big right in the middle, like boom, he caught it with it, and he would dip under his shot, and it was like, man, every move, every inch, every position from the footwork, you had to earn it. He had to earn Naoya Inoue's respect in there. And Naoya Inoue had to get his respect. Yeah, bro. But David the Monster Benavidez' fight was exciting though. You know what I'm saying? In the sense where it brought you that violence, bro. Did you see Zurdo's eye? Yo, that shit was like, right? Yo, I was so tired, and I apologize for not, hanging on and talking about the fight, but I was exhausted. I was exhausted throughout the day. I had, I got a life of my own. I'm out doing shit. So, but David the Monster Benavidez is fucking, yo, I told the boxing world that if a fighter does this right here, like David the Monster Benavidez, listen, did you guys hear the boos when they started booing Canelo? Yo, I caught that this morning. Yo, they started booing Canelo. I didn't know that in the moment because, you guys, I watch my fight with no volume so that I could, call my fight. So, I'll go back and I'll watch what some of the fighters said and shit like that. And I heard them booing Canelo. Yo, is this the rise of David the Monster Benavidez? Is he looking to be the new face of boxing? Is this what we seeing? Yo, the world has spoken, bro. The boxing world. They like not letting this shit ride. They're like, yo, you're not gonna be the man while ducking the man. You know what I'm saying? And we're not just gonna take it anymore. Yo, the Mexicans turned on Saul for David. An American Mexican. That's beautiful. Que viva Mexico, cabrones. That's cool. Boxing world. Ooh, they were, the Mexicano. I heard them louder than any words they could say, bro. I was like, oh shit. Right? So pressure bust pipes, baby. So like, check it out, right? In the sense that they're saying, who's the real monster? Who did it better, right? Okay, check this out. Yo, Naoya, anyway, you my man, bro. You my man. You my dude, brother. You really are. I'm gonna tell you right now, monster. Right? Damn, bro. In this case, you can keep the name Monster. It's yours. You earned it. As far as skill level fight, I think that your fight was more difficult. You can keep the name Monster, but in David the Monster Benavidez' case, I don't think he minds that when you can keep the name while he becomes the face of boxing. You can keep the name. He's going in a different trajectory. To be recognized as the face of boxing, that's global, worldwide recognition, bro. You have entered a different atmosphere. Yeah, it doesn't take away from Naoya Inoue's accomplishment, who he is on his side of the world. He is number one, baby. And that's all that matters for Naoya Inoue. Where's he number one at? In his home country. Numero uno. No one else. As a matter of fact, he woke up this morning, Japanese number one best fighter in the world. So shout out to you, Naoya Inoue. Woo! Woo! Que viva Japan! Oh man, boxing is hot right now. Listen, I'm hot right now. You know what I'm hot right now about? That motherfucking Duarte, robbery. Mexico. If it wasn't on Mexico crime, I would be saying something about y'all right now, right? Right? But that shit ain't right. If anybody needs a rematch, that fight needs to be rematched. If they asked me this morning, Kids Forever asked me, he texted me, he said, yo, round one, you think that Naoya Inoue and Junto should rematch? And I'm like, nah, you know what I'm saying? You only get one shot at the monster, brother. I'm sorry. Unfortunately, that's the way it's going to be. And that's the reality to it. It's just a reality. Like, that money train is not, I mean, it could be relived, but there's just other people in line, like Naoya Inoue said, like he said. So I don't think it's going to happen. But if there was any fight that I wish would they would relive the fight, it would be the Oscar Dwight. Yo, my bad. Frontline, I'm dropping the new link now. I'm gonna put it in the chat. All right, so I'm gonna drop it. I should have just sent it to you, but I will. Let's try this now. Come up, Frontline. Koki in the building. How you doing, my brother? Yeah, I want to talk with all you guys. All right. Let's see if this new El Linko worko. You know what I mean? Let's get this in here. All right, let's turn this up right there. All right. So I think I'm all set. Frontline is in El building.
What's going on?
What's going on?
Thank God for PBC saving Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, stop it. Stop it. Here comes Frontline with the bullshit.
Shout out to the real monster, David El Monstro Benavidez, and special recognition to the Cookie Monster, Naoya Inoue.
Stop it. Stop it. You know what I'm saying? See, that's why somebody sent a glitch to your phone to get you off the panel from talking that shit. You're going to keep doing it, huh? You're going to keep doing it. You're going to keep messing yourself up. I mean, Frontline, if you want to go down this road, it is, look, hackers, get them. You know what I mean? Yo, listen, look. Real talk, like I just expressed, I said to everybody, look, at this point, they both proved they're monsters. They took the number one top fights. They're the guys that actually brought excitement to boxing this weekend. It wasn't no Tank Davis, wasn't none of these other guys. And I didn't mean to take a shot at Tank, but I want to see him back. But these guys are the guys that did it. Oh my God, Frontline gets kicked out again. Look at this. His system is cracked. It's flawed. You got to pay your phone bill. I don't know what to tell you.
Nah, I don't know what the hell just happened. I think I hit something.
You might have hit something. Look at this. So what I'm saying is, look, Naoya Inoue did fight, in fact, the toughest opposition they had available for him. Did he not? Yes. And did not David the Monster Benavidez take on one of the biggest weight jumps and biggest challenges of his career? Did he not? And did they fight on the same day? Yes. And did Oscar Duarte get gifted a win? Yes. You know what I'm saying? And I look, I'm telling you right now, I think that the cards were the fight cards itself, they were both good cards. I like the fights. I like the Takuma fight, the Takuma Inoue fight. That was a good fight. There was a few good, decent fights on that Japanese card, but that was real skill with Naoya Inoue and Junto. They looked like two cats in there. They were like, you know what I'm saying? It was, like I said, like a mongoose and a cobra. Every punch was earned. And when you look at the Zurdo and David the Monster Benavidez fight, Zurdo tried to walk through David the Monster Benavidez's punches. He was there to be hit. It was a dangerous mission because, like I said, I feel like I'm repeating myself. Mike Tyson even said when they were interviewing him outside the ring, Mike Tyson said, yo, he needs to stop letting this guy hit him and use the jab and go back into the distance. And David the Monster Benavidez proved everybody wrong. He knew exactly what he was doing. So it wasn't like Zurdo was this dude in front of him, fucking moving, dodging, was giving David the Monster Benavidez all kinds of fits. It was a kind of like one-sided fight. How many rounds do you think Zurdo won in that fight? Maybe one? If that?
If that. You're being
If that.
generous.
And I'm being, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So come on. It was really a one-sided fight. So, but the only thing is, it brought you blood. It brought you a knockout. It brought you brutality, violence. And for that, some people get caught in that, of, oh shit, it must be the better fight. Look at the violence level. But Naoya and Junto they were just on, it was a different fight.
Shout out to the Kids Forever, Dwayne Styles in the building, Kush Combo in the building, Koki's in the building, Jab Backs in the building, and Puerto Rican Rum is in the building.
It looks like Bam is up next for Inoue and
January is 2027. I doubt it. I doubt they're gonna jump
Bam's
Bam
been
up
all
that high.
over social media talking that shit. You know what I'm saying? And look, you guys know how I feel about that. You guys know exactly how. Who am I to tell Bam what to do? But I'm going to tell you this right now, gentlemen. We're all men. We're all men, right? And you ever get that guy that's fucking with you, right? Calling you out or pushing your buttons. The problem is he's a little dude. He's a little dude. And you're trying to have patience. And you're telling him, bro, listen, leave me alone, right? And then all of a sudden, this little motherfucker comes and shows up at your house and starts banging on your door. Are you wrong for coming downstairs, opening your door, and answering that call? Are you wrong?
That's what Zayas did.
All right.
Knocked on the wrong door.
No, that's what Jerome Busenis did. He knocked on the wrong door and Zayas opened it.
And that's what
That's exactly right. Right. Okay, check it out. And that's what I'm saying. See, when this happens, I said all of that to say this is that Bam Bam is in 2 divisions down. 2 down. We're not talking these guys are big men. Like, he's not that big, right? So when he comes up and he starts talking that I'm going to fight Naoya Inoue shit, and I told you I didn't like this, but he can do whatever he wants. The minute he signs that contract and agrees to fight Naoya Inoue, whatever happens, happens. And if Naoya Inoue starches him, listen, I told you, leave me alone. Don't come around here knocking on my door. Because I'm going to come downstairs and I'm going to open that door and you're not going to like what I'm going to do. And I don't want to hear he was little. I don't want to hear that after. Because everybody thinks they can challenge these. They're starting to see it's becoming a thing in boxing. This guy moves up, beats this guy. Oh shit, look at David the Monster Benavidez just did it. I can do it. Okay.
Hey,
Okay.
Puerto Rican Rum says, why
Okay.
don't we get Bam versus Puerto Rican two-time champion Manuel Rodriguez? I would like to see that.
If it wasn't for Junto, I would say yeah, but that wouldn't be the bigger fight because I think Bam Rodriguez Junto would still be bigger in my head, in my opinion. What do you think? What do you think?
Junto exposed Inoue yesterday, so he did a very good job.
Everything you gotta say has listen. Just eat
But
crow.
yo, can
Admit
I
you were
finish though?
wrong.
Can I
Admit you
finish?
were wrong. All right, and the boxing world wants to hear it.
No, you know who was
You
wrong?
were
The
wrong.
judges. The judges
The
were wrong.
judges were wrong. So the judges were right in the Oscar Duarte fight, huh? You got your tongue? Are you a little? Oh shit! The connection went out. Oh, I see. I see.
Every time I start talking about anyway, I get cut off. You got that? You got this system programmed.
I don't got it programmed. The system it detects haters. It's gonna boot you every time you start that hateration. That's what happens. Look, he's stuck in the vortex now. Ha 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 ha. Frontline, you there? Stuck in the vortex. I told him, look, that's why that's why I'm still up, right? Because the system knows the truth. The Matrix knows the truth. You know what I mean? He's a pure hater. Frontline. Yo. Look at Frontline. Damn. What is going on with the goings on zones? Yo, Frontline, I don't know, bro. I don't know, man. They done sabotaged your phone, bro. Real talk. You're like, you've been put on a list.
I'm on a hit list. But listen,
You're
yo,
on
did
a
you
hit
catch?
list.
Yeah, did you catch what
Who,
the monster,
when?
the real monster said last night?
What, Naoya Inoue?
No, the
What did he
real
say?
monster, not the Cookie Monster, the real monster.
Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to keep up with the disrespect, you're going to keep getting thrown. Yo, he got thrown out again. On cue. Listen, you can't make this up. This is beautiful. Oh, shit. Frontline. We're going to have to get a new system. I don't know.
Nah, I don't know what it is. I don't know
Stop, stop,
if it's my
stop.
phone. I'm gonna reset my phone later on today.
You know what it is? It's that,
Nah, don't bring the name up. Don't bring the name up because I don't want I don't want this shit to go up.
no,
But
you know
listen,
what? Yeah,
Benavidez said that
he said nothing. You are not working. This is messed up, bro. What is going on with the goings on? So, damn, for now, I don't know what to tell you.
yeah, I don't know.
This has never happened.
Never.
You messing with them Japanese fans. Okay, frontline. They got you. They done got you now. Oh,
Somebody
you done. Hurry
copied the
up and talk
link.
because you're gonna go off.
Somebody copied the link and fucking added a virus to that shit just for me.
Yep. He's all done. They don't even want to hear you. Frontline. Wow, this is deeper, darker criminal link. You know what I'm saying? Going on here. They got Frontline. Listen, anybody else can come up. I would like someone else to come up. I'm gonna drop the link. Anybody else come up to see, just to prove the theory. Anybody else, feel free, come up. I just want to see. Yo, this is crazy. Yo, front line. Here we go. Damn, front line. You hit, my boy. You hit. You hit, my boy. And Japanese fans said, we don't want to hear from you. Yo, that's crazy. Frontline is texting me SOS. Yo, what's this, Frontline? That's what comes up on the page? Oh, shit.
Yo,
Yo,
did you see?
Frontline.
You saw your text message?
Yeah, I saw it. I'm looking at it right now.
That's what it's telling me. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, you got a virus.
L- Apple don't get viruses.
Nah, it's a Japanese virus. It's like a ninja. It's like
Nah.
jumping on. It's some advanced shit. You don't even know nothing about it. Yeah, yeah, bro.
And then
The
my grandson
Yakuza or
over here
whatever
laughing his
got
ass
you.
off.
Yeah. Yo, fucking
Yo,
ninja stars are gonna start coming through your window.
and my grandson laughing his ass off over here too. Right, Puto?
Yo,
Right, Puto?
yeah,
He
because
laugh.
he knows he's like, yo, nah, he's like, don't drag me into this. You know what I
He's talking shit right here.
mean? Yo,
Tell him how you feel,
looks
Bubbly.
like, yeah, he knows exactly. He knows his. You see, he's like, yo, the monsters Naoya Inoue all day. I heard the baby loud and clear, bro. Frontline. Yo,
Yeah,
you
that's
need to
just
be.
crazy.
I was wrong. Yeah, I mean, so who do you think anyway? David the Monster Benavidez should fight next,
Well,
right?
that's what I'm
And
saying
did you
because I
wait? And did you hear the reaction of the crowd?
well, I did hear the reaction of the crowd, but I had stepped away when he was talking. He mentioned something about he's champion at two weight divisions, and he said something about Bivol and I forgot who else because I stepped away as he was talking.
But no. When they showed Saul Canelo Alvarez on the
What's that?
tumbletron there,
Yeah,
they started booing. All the Mexican fans started booing him. And then
yeah, no,
David the
I
Monster Benavidez went and knocked dude out, and fucking they was like, yo, he stood in the ring until like there was no more fans in the freaking in the whole building. He was taking pictures, snapping. David, he like sucked that all in, like pause. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you know
and
what I think it was though. I think they expected Canelo to probably pass the torch to Mongia,
no, I yeah,
but
like that. But I think Canelo's feeling the pressure. Like the boxing world is not letting him just slide out of this one. The boxing world is finally letting Canelo hear it. You're not
yeah,
gonna walk around claiming to be the best Mexican fighter while avoiding what many people feel is the best one coming up now. It would have been your biggest challenge. Canelo's trying to tell you, oh, don't look behind the curtain. Never mind what's going on over here. And I think that the Mexican boxing world spoke louder than words, by doing that, Canelo can go back to his $1 million house and close the door and act like he didn't hear it or nothing happened. He can go on and do that. But I think that David the Monster Benavidez is evolving into something much more. And if he becomes the face of Mexican boxing and gets the support and the backing, he's got the crown.
I think so. I think you're right. I think you're right. Based
So
on based on what we saw
yeah,
last night, I think you're right.
so and I touched on that going into the fight on my live. I said I wanted to talk to some Mexican fans and shit. And I said, what do you guys think about the situation? And whoever wins, would you guys embrace them? Whether it be Zurdo, whether it be David the Monte Benavidez. And is boxing in a better place with this outcome with David winning or would it be in a better place if Zurdo won? We saw the outcome now. We got our answer. And I think that the Mexican boxing fan, they spoke louder than words. I think that they picked their guy. They saw their guy right there. They saw what David the Monster Benavidez did. Some people knew the challenge, the obstacle that he had to the 25. We talked about it frontline,
Hey, and
right?
to be honest, I want to ask the people in the chat: did anybody? I sure didn't. I don't think Edwin did either. But did any of you guys expect
The knock
anybody to knock Zurdo out or a fight to end the way it did? I
no,
didn't expect it.
no,
Any,
and
I didn't
then for
expect
the
it at
amount
all.
of damage that he did. Literally, when he punched Zurdo took a knee, put his glove like that. The next time he revealed his eye was completely shut. Even if Zurdo got up from that punch, the fight was being stopped. He couldn't see out of that eye. That shit was a
Let me
Rocky movie. They were gonna have
let
to
me
cut
ask
his
you,
eyelid off.
Edwin. Let me ask you something. If that version of Benavidez steps in the ring with Canelo, who wins?
He knocks Canelo clean the fuck out.
You think so?
He has too much power. He has too much power. Name me one fighter that did that to Zurdo, including Demetrius Bivol.
No, nobody ever.
Okay, then. He literally cracked Zurdo's face, bro. That eye socket, that shit, that orbital bone, that shit is fractured, bro. That shit, Zurdo couldn't take the pain. He's a tough man. Yo,
Yo,
he went to
Puerto
what?
Rico down bad right now.
Why?
Yo, I think the pillow's winning right now.
The pillows. Oh yeah, your grandson.
Yeah. Yo,
he's
it
he's
beat him
0
up
and 1
yesterday.
against yesterday. He's 0 and 1.
Yeah,
Laid on
he's
the
0-1.
pillow.
He went for the rematch today.
He went for the. He's gonna lose. He's
He's
not
losing.
ready.
He's
He's not
losing
ready.
already.
He's not ready. Yo, so it's like, look, I think that David the Monster Benavidez answered a lot of questions, and he made a believer out of me. For all the questions and doubts and what ifs that I had, which makes boxing very interesting. The unknown before a fight. We break down all these things and then we get our answer. That's the answer. You can't ignore it. You can't, sometimes fans get over crazy and they get prisoner in the moment. Oh shit, he should just go up to heavyweight and knock out Usyk. Fans get crazy. Fans get crazy. No sooner that you accomplish one thing in this sport, they want you to freaking jump up to Mount Everest and jump off with a parachute, and fight a grizzly bear. So it's like boxing, it's always what have you done for me lately and who is next. That's boxing, man, in a nutshell. So where does David the Monster Benavidez go from here? Who are the bigger fights? He going to defend these belts? Is he going to go back down? Interesting enough, when we talk about the quality of opponents, the confidence of these fighters, right? And there are subtle things that fighters do that really tell you whether, they're iffy on their moves. Okay, for instance, David the Monster Benavidez, if you was to go on BoxRec or you was to go to the boxing scene, right? And you go there, like right now, and you go and you look up who's the cruiserweight champions of 100 and 200 pounds, right? They got David the Monster Benavidez is the WBA and the WBO. But wait a minute. Who's the champion down at 175? Oh shit. David the Monster Benavidez is still the WBC and the WBA interim. So he has 4 belts. He has 2 in one weight division. What? Why? You know why? Because when he made this move to cruiserweight, he didn't choose to vacate the belts. He chose to hang on to them. What does that say about that kind of champion? Where are you confident enough that you say You don't need these belts anymore because you're moving up to a new weight division. That's going to be your new home. Or just in case I lose, I could just cut the weight back down. I'm still champion down here. It's like a security blanket. So in the back of your mind, even if you lose this fight, you wake up the next day, still champion. It's a security blanket. Okay. What did Junto do? Junto had 2 belts at 118. He was a unified world champion. He vacated both belts to go chase Naoya Inoue after his belts. No security blanket. No what if. No looking backwards. I'm going this way, win or lose. I'm not going to hold up anybody's career or anybody's opportunity for fighting for a belt while I'm concentrated on going this way. What does that say about the fighter? You need a security blanket. You need assurance that just in case shit goes wrong, I still wake up the next day champion. Junto put all the pressure on himself. There's nothing back there for me. Same thing Naoya Inoue did when he had all 4 belts. After 30 days of winning all 4 belts, he vacated all the belts to go fight the best 122-pounder and Stephen Kubo Fulton, undefeated unified world champion on the pound-for-pound list at the time. He said, I'm not going to hold on to these belts, hold up nobody's career. I'm going to vacate. Why? I'm going that way. He went up there and he knocked him out and took his belt, and he never looked back.
Hey, Edwin, real quick, shout out to Texas Heat in the building. He says salute. Loy says, I think Inoue slipping, Edwin. Father Time creeping up, says Loy. Takeover in the building. Takeovers in the building. He says, seeing David do the no mas made me think of Matias.
Listen, let me tell you something. Naoya Inoue ain't slipping. His competition's getting better. I don't know if you can notice the difference, Lloyd, my man. You know, Junto is a 3-division undefeated world champion. Moving up in weight that already took a tune-up fight to get acclimated to division.
Hey, Lloyd, I agree with you. I don't care what Edwin says. I agree with you.
That's why his mic's about to go out again. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't mention his name. I didn't
because all you do is go and try to shit on a great one. Keep the GOAT's name out your mouth. You know what I'm saying? Because I'll tell you what now, David the Monster Benavidez, for everything you guys are saying, he's not on the pound for pound list anywhere now, is he?
Hey, shout out to Boxing Unwrapped in the building. He says, yeah, but if you choose to hold both classes and you're defending in both, that's more impressive than dropping if he does defend in both.
That's more
Puerto Rican Rum says
that's more cowardly because as a boxer, ask all the boxers' careers down in that division that are trying to get fights, and the answer that they're getting is this guy is choosing to hold on to the belt while he trains 5 months, goes up there and wins other belts, and we got to wait for him to make his decisions. Ask those guys that are trying to feed their family, become world champion, if that's cool, and that they review this guy as a solid world champion. Junto didn't hold up the division not a day sooner. Those belts are collecting dust on a shelf, not being represented. The organization's not getting any money because as long as he don't defend them, what sanctioning fees are they paying? And there's no champion because you're out over here doing whatever you want, and that is not how a champion should act. A champion says, "The hell am I going to need these belts for? Here, you guys have them. I'm going. There's belts over here. Don't you see that I'm the best? I'm the best to do it. I don't need no security, no blanket. There's nothing back there for me. I'm going up. This ain't these
Edwin,
kind of American dudes. Yo, they got an excuse for everything. Shakur is
Edwin,
like,
did you
go ahead.
catch what Inoue said after the fight? Did he mention anybody? Did he say what his plans are? If he's going to defend again, or if he's
No,
going up to 26?
no. What he made clear was he's not retiring anytime soon. He said he's gonna he still feels strong, sharp. I mean, look at the fight against Junto, bro. Junto could barely touch this dude, and Junto is a marksman. Junto's the type of dude, he's long, lengthy, he can touch you up, piece you up from anywhere. He could barely hit Naoya Inoue in that ring yesterday. He had his moments here and there, and it was a real but uh what was the main point of the question you said?
Well, no. The question I had was, did Inoue mention what his plans are? If
Yeah,
he's going to
okay,
move
all
up,
right.
or if he's
Well,
staying to defend again, or what? Like,
no,
I don't.
he wasn't specific. They kept, asking him, trying to get it. He was just saying, I have to re-look over all my options, basically. The Japanese wording that was coming was real weird. The way they were saying that he was talking, it didn't make sense at all. So I'm trying to make it out too. And all he kept saying was basically, he's going to go back with Ohashi. They're going to talk and weigh over his options. He says that before this fight, the uncertainty of going up was there. After this fight, it's not there. So he hinted to the possibility that he is no longer intimidated on going on 126, that he awaits more challenges, and that he feels he can still achieve more legacy, whatever that means. Whether it's legacy and more title defenses, defending all four belts and the Ring Magazine belt, was he talking in that regards, or was he talking in the regards of more legacy going up another weight division? You know, um,
So as a fan of his, what do you suggest he does? As a fan, what would you say? What would you say his next move should be?
that's tough. That's tough because as a fan, you always want more, right? But as a realist, you have to ask yourself some questions. I'm not with Naoya anyway. I'm not in his camp. I don't know him like that. Is he truly maxed out? I mean, let's be honest, guys. This is his fifth weight division. He has titles in four weight divisions, but he's fighting currently in his fifth. From where he started at 108 to 122, that's five weight divisions. He never fought in 112. He bypassed it, but he still passed it. So from where he started to where he's currently fighting in his fifth weight division. I mean, he's not a really big man. You got guys like Espinoza or the Tower Inferno, where at 6'6", for God's sake, he can even compete in heavyweight. If his frame was able to put on the weight, that's the problem. Is Naoya Inoue maxed out? Is he fighting the biggest guys at 122 that are cutting the most weight? Remember, some of these guys are cutting a lot of weight, and they're gonna do that like a Connor Ben, and Chris Eubank. Some of these guys cut a lot of weight to get these fights to happen, to be a weight bully, to finally beat that guy. And if Naoya Inoue is starting to feel some of the weight bullies, some of the bigger 122 guys that have the ability to cut a lot of weight, and they can get him in with Naoya Inoue and try to beat him. He's feeling that. He's feeling the biggest punchers. So does he feel like he faced the biggest challenges and there's nothing else left at 122 for him? That'll be up to him. It's just going to be a matter of time before he makes an announcement, because I can guarantee you one thing: he's going to fight in 4.5 months. That's his schedule. That's how he's able to maintain fighting 4 times in a calendar year. Although the years might overlap, he always fights 4 times in the amount of 12-month span. So it's going to be within the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks. We're going to start hearing something, they're gonna start to negotiate. And depending how fast they can get the negotiations, or if they already had somebody in mind, remember, plans were as such. He was gonna fight Junto, right? He was gonna wait because Junto came into the equation. He was supposed to fight Alan David Picasso and go fight Nick Ball at 126. Nick Ball was waiting for him, and we all knew that. And that was a real fight that Ohashi Promotion and them was talking about. Then all of a sudden, Junto came into the picture. And then it was like, okay, well, then we'll put you on the card we'll revisit the fight with Alan David Picasso, because see, Alan David Picasso was offered the fight one time before they even fought, but he denied it on Cinco de Mayo weekend, right? So, at that moment in Naoya Inoue's career, he was going to move forward, I thought. But as soon as Junto came into the picture, he was like, all right, I'll give you a tune-up fight. Matter of fact, give me the Mexican dude, Alan David Picasso, the undefeated young kid, the rising little star here. Alan David Picasso is a good fighter, bro. He's good. I think he's a little underrated, but I think that that win over Alan David Picasso is going to age like fine wine for Naoya Inoue. Watch. Because
especially if Alan David Picasso becomes a champion
that's what I'm saying. That's exactly, he's going to become a world champion. Alan David Picasso. I just know it. So that's going to age great for him. So in that sense, like, Naoya Inoue, man, I think that, all these big wins for him are gonna, like, a lot of these wins for him are aging really well. I like the fact that, like, a lot of his guys that he fought, when they say that Naoya Inoue didn't fight nobody, right? I like the fact that there's like 6 or 7 of his guys that he fought that went on to be world champion again. Yeah, Emmanuel Rodriguez, after he lost to Naoya Inoue, he became a champion. Nonito Donaire became a champion after he lost to Naoya Inoue. Jason Maloney became a world champion after he lost to Naoya Inoue. Stephen Kubo Fulton became a world champion after he lost to Naoya Inoue. Bro, listen, and I know Junto's going to be a world champion again. I know he is, and I have listen. I think his resume, and David Picasso, I think his resume is gonna age really well when it's all said and done. And now you can tack on another current or former world champion that Naoya Inoue stepped in the ring with. So I can't discredit anything that this Japanese dude is doing, man. I really can't. And as far as that nickname, the Monster. Listen, rightfully so. I think both of them earned their names. I think David the Monster Benavidez earned his name, the Monster. I think we need to back him up. I think the boxing world has spoken louder than words. I think they have picked their man. They believe in David the Monster Benavidez, and I think now it's going to be his era. And another fight real quick I want to touch on before we move any further, man. Answer me this, riddle me this. Who won that Oscar Duarte fight, Frontline? Huh? I can't. Frontline, is the mic working? Are you good?
I know. I want to say Fierro won that fight. Honestly.
Okay.
Honestly. I think that Duarte went into that ring with so much frustration that he didn't have a clear mind.
He looked stiff. He looked like the Frankenstein. He was like, looked like fucking RoboCop. Fucking Duarte, your boy Dante got his ass whooped, bro. I'm sorry. The biggest moment,
he did.
the biggest moment in the fight didn't even count for him. When he knocked down the referee and Fierro, you know what I mean? That didn't even count.
Nope. Hey, let me catch up with the chat real quick. Puerto Rican Rum says, I want to see Inoue versus Shushu at 126 at MSG. Boxing Unwrapped says Junto is 5 years younger, unified champ, and Inoue played with him. Takeover says, I think Tia was slipping. What has he done that's impressive in a long time? Um, Kids Forever says Naoya is technical. He looks for the KO and depends on the miss rates his opponent does. If it's there, he takes it. Boxing on Rap says, nah, wait for me, because I'm the king and I'll get to you. LOL. Lloyd says he's taking a break. I think he's talking about Inoue. Inoue
Yeah.
don't take breaks.
You don't take
Um,
breaks.
Boxing on Rap says, nah, David is being ducked. That's fact. So this is his way of saying, now duck me because I'm here in two classes. It's to corner the big fights. Work Hard Chill says Fierro was robbed, no gun, no mask.
Damn.
Kids Forever, Junto moments was only because to draw him in close. Look at the times Naoya got hit. Naoya was trying to draw him in. Melasa con Sabor is in the building. He says this Kentucky Derby weekend was fire. Mr.
I heard about
Itachi
that.
is in the building. He said David
Salute.
Benavidez versus Andy Cruz.
Huh?
M- Melasa says, why people pay money to watch David Benavidez versus Andy Cruz? Question.
Okay,
Boxing.
wait. They're too far apart. What are we talking about here? Just keep going.
That's the Mexicans. They're looking for Ruiz versus Benny makes 0 cents. LOL says unwrapped. Do you think people will pay money to watch Benavidez versus Andy Cruz? Laughing emoji.
Yo, and then
Question
Andy Cruz's
emoji.
last fight, he lost to Raymond Moritaya at 135 pounds.
No, not Andy Cruz. Andy Ruiz.
Oh, Andrew Ruiz. Okay, Andrew Ruiz. Uh,
Did I
no.
say Cruz? My bad. If I said Cruz, my bad.
Okay, no. Ruiz tampoco. Move on. Go ahead.
It would make more pay-per-views than some Russian dude. No one knows in us, says Mr. Itachi. Melasa says, I saw
Well,
Oscar Duarte winning the fight. I think Melasa was in that 420 then.
he was on
Um,
that. No, Malasa was on that real. You know what I'm saying?
Not
Yeah.
Melasa don't drink. It was a 420. It
Nah,
must be a new
on
strand for
that night,
him.
he was definitely drinking the
Nah, it
coquito.
must have been a new strand for him or something.
A new strand? Yeah.
A former Mexican heavyweight champ adds 0 to his legacy. Question. Y'all tripping. Then he fights Usyk, says Mr. Itachi.
Okay, but now look at Andrew the Destroyer Ruiz, right, is a former unified heavyweight world champion with a lot of inactivity. He hasn't really been at the top of like the conversations of late. Very good heavyweight, fast puncher. He would be really dangerous for a fighter like David the Monster Benavidez, right? But there's no payoff. There's no payoff. There has to be at this point. David the Monster Benavidez is 29. He's starting into that 30 phase, and he's starting to put some legacy behind it. Fighting Andy the Destroyer Ruiz does nothing but a dangerous fight. It doesn't really make sense. I look, guys, before we jump, the gun, um, sometimes in the sport, you're going to have to plant your flag somewhere. Stop running, jumping, try to impress everybody that throws out a name. If he wants to make legacy, you just got the two cruiserweight belts. You're not that far away. Plant your Mexican flag right there and make a stand. Challenge the rest of the champions in the division. Get the rest of those belts. Do some Saul shit. So although you didn't fight Saul Canelo Alvarez, you matched them. Now you got a great argument. Now there's no more Saul. You're going to leave him in your rearview mirror. But if you keep chasing these bigger moments and you keep risking it all, at some point, you might lose everything. And you went chasing it for what? For people to say, "Oh, look, at least he did it." That doesn't have legacy behind it. The fight actually won't make a lot of sense. But if David the Monster Benavidez stays right there in cruiserweight, do that first. Yo, if he unifies all the 4 belts in cruiserweight, and ever comes a day he wants to go up to heavyweight, if he does that, guess what he does? Erases Usyk right out of the record book. Because now it's going to be up to a because you matched them. And once you match someone, now what? It's going to be up for debate. So he needs to stay where he is, if you ask me. Stop chasing it, risking it all. Make a stand, make a mark, get all the belts, mirror Canelo. You got a great argument now. Canelo got the names, though. Now he starts getting some names, some title defenses behind that. Fights the guy, never dug smoke, David the Monster Benavidez. And he's up there and he's fighting. And what if he fights Demetrius Bivol, the guy that beats Canelo? Then gets the 4 belts. Now he beats the guy that beats Canelo to prove that he would have definitely beat Canelo. Then he matches him. Puñeta, David the Monster Benavidez he can catch Canelo now. When everybody was thinking, he'll never pass Saul. No, I'm starting to see a light at the end of that tunnel. Oh, it's right there, David. Stay the course, my man. Weigh your options. Make better moves. Stop doing this fucking risky shit. Bro, you impressed the shit out of me last night, David the Monster Benavidez. What you did right there, not every man in the world can do that shit. Brother, you're talented. Prove it. Wipe out the division. Wipe him out. Beat the guy that beat Canelo. Bro, that's a done deal.
Yeah, it would be. It would be, for sure. Yo, Mr. Tachi says Shushu's trash. Inoue needs to fight Espinoza. Melasa says, are we giving a win in a close fight to the guy who misses weight twice? Question. He's talking about the Duarte versus Fierro because Fierro missed weight. 126 needs to unify. Stop waiting for the Inoue sweepstakes, says Loy.
Stop right there. Stop. Yo, my man, who said that? Read that other message that he said about who said that?
126 needs to unify. Stop waiting for the Inoue sweepstake. That one?
No, the Fierro comment.
Oh, Melasa, he says, are we giving a win in a close fight to the guy who misses weight twice?
Shout out to Melasa for bringing that up. Great point. One of the boxers in this match wasn't being professional. And although if Fierro would have pulled up the upset, guess what? He couldn't win the belts. So the organization wanted money. They want them sanction fees. When on that night, both of you had the opportunity to win the belts. We was getting paid. Now, the day of the fight, you cut that in half. The sanctioning bodies all had a little meeting with the refs. And, listen, if this shit starts going left, this is the guy we want to, right? I mean, I'm not saying that that's what happened. Hypothetically, I'm just capping here, right? I'm just thinking out loud, right? Melasa, you bring up a good point.
Hey, so he's not on that 420 then, huh?
He might not be. Well, no, the 420 might be kicking in. Now he's mellowing out. You know what I mean? Yo.
Apart from Junto, shout out to Saulo. Apart from Junto, rematch, who else is there at 22 for Inoue to fight before he moves up? Question.
What happened? Say that again.
Saul, hold on. Let me address Mr. I said Ruiz. Yeah, Mr. Itachi. If I said Cruz, it's my bad. Yes, it was
Mhm.
Andy Ruiz. Saulo Pinto says, apart from Junto rematch, who else is there at 122 for Inoue to fight before he moves up? Question.
There's no one. There's
I
no
mean,
one.
there's number one contenders that have stepped up, but
Yes, like Naoya Inoue said, that he said there's new players and new faces that have stepped up since he's been in the division.
but
He
he's already
believe
proved everything at 22.
and he believes that everybody, rightfully so, deserves a chance. So he's going to weigh up his options. One of the names that keeps coming to the forefront, no matter where you put him, and the three names for Naoya Inoue in 122 is that Hernandez guy that fought Junto. And they're saying
Oh yeah,
because
he'll
of the
beat the shit out of Inoue.
now you're gonna get kicked off again. You
Yeah,
see what I'm saying? You were doing
Hernandez.
so
Yo,
good. You were
Hernandez
doing
is a
so good.
problem. He's a
Yo,
problem for
listen.
anybody.
All right, whatever. He's slow, stiff. He's gonna get knocked out. But anyway, Hernandez is one of the names that is coming up still. But to keep it 100, to keep it funky, he wiped out the division guys. The problem is that he did it backwards. Like if you were literally to take Naoya Inoue's all his wins except the Junto win, besides the Junto win last night, go backwards on Naoya Inoue's run at 122. That's the way it should have looked. He should have came in, fought the TJ Dohaneys, the Yi Young Kims, the Roman Cardenases, the Luis Pantera Naris. He should have fought those guys first. And the MJ, and then he should be fighting MJ, and then he should have fought Marlon Tapales, and then he should have fought Stephen Kubo Fulton right now. Like if you flip it backwards, that's exactly what he should be. Just getting the fourth belt off Stephen Kubo Fulton, beating an undefeated unified world champion, and becoming undisputed, and then ride into the sunset into another weight division. The problem is he did it backwards. He came in and fought the best right away. He kicked open the front door 122 and said, "Who's the toughest guy in here? You outside. Who's the next toughest guy? You stand on. You be in the batter's box. You're next." And he beat up everybody the best first. So now that he's on the tail end, and it's these guys last, is getting a little lackluster, and they're saying, "Oh, who the fuck is he fighting? Or what is he doing?" Pa pa pa. It's because you didn't notice him when he was creating all this noise. The reason why you notice him because of all the bodies, the trail of bodies he left behind him. And now everybody's going, who the hell is that? That's what they're doing. They're coming to find out who he is. But Naoya Inoue has been impressing us from the fucking World Series of Boxing. When he two punched what is his name? Was it I forget the Dominican's name's fighter is eluding me right now, but he won two of them. Out code. You know, no, that Dominican dude that he just had recently won the belt. What's his name? Polanco. It's something like
Not,
that.
not Polanco.
No,
Polanco's
it's not Polanco. It's not Polanco, but it sounds like that. It's I forget. Anybody in the chat can help me with his name real
what
quick.
weight class?
That was at 118. I'll get it real quick myself.
All right, while you pull that up, yo, un saludito, George in the building. Mr. Itachi says Miguelin would make zero pay-per-view. He also says Jai in the sue for protection program. So that fight's not happening. Who will he fight for the IBF vacant? Melasa says Bivol. Yes, that is a great fight. Benavidez, the American monster. Mr. Itachi says Bivol gonna do the trilogy with Beterbiev after he beats Afer. Saul says Loisas Payano.
Juan Carlos Payano is his name.
Damn,
Yeah.
Lois on point. He been typed it in.
Yeah,
I'm trying to catch up. Saul says, "Do we know how many times Inoue is fighting this year?
he'll fight 4 times. He'll fight 4 times. He's on schedule.
Are you
He's
going
still
based on statistics, or you know this for a fact?"
okay. Here, here. Let's. Do you know how we do in Round One Sports Talk, right? We
Yeah,
don't.
yeah.
There's
We
no. There's
know
no.
we know that he has a tendency of fighting 4 times a year.
Oh,
But
wait.
but no,
Lots
Edwin, you gotta
Ghetto
take his age into
and
consideration.
Bustetto. Okay, stop with just the the thinking for the front line. Your
And
the
plus, he
foot,
already got caught with his
the
hand in the cookie jar. So now
the
he's just a
foot
cookie
foot
monster.
is just going way too far down your throat. So you just
He's
need
the
to stop.
cookie monster.
You
He's
need to
not the
stop.
real
Okay,
monster.
okay. This is why I say that he's fighting. He's gonna fight 4 times a year, and this is why Frontline is guessing.
I'm
Okay,
not guessing. I'm
so
taking his age into consideration.
okay. You obviously don't know anything about
Plus, the
Naoya. I
beating he
know
took from Junto is
you.
gonna delay him a little bit.
This fucking guy, bro. You don't know nothing about Naoya in a way. Absolutely nothing. Look at the dates, my man. When he started his career, it was 2012. I want you to focus on what's highlighted in red. These are all the dates. The next time he fought was 2013 from 10. The month is 10/2. Okay? Then he fought 1/5, which is actually only 2 months from the time there. The years might overlap, but look at the consistency of his work rate, right? In 2013, 1, 2, 3. Look at this. Look at his work rate. Look at the numbers. Look at his work rate. Now look at 12. Look at the work rate. Watch. It never changes. During the corona epidemic, when we went all the way down, it never ever changes. This man is consistent like a mofo. Check this out. Let's go here. Let's go Paul Butler. Check this out. 2022, 12/13. Paul Butler, he just won 4 belts that day on 12/13, December 13th, right? His next fight, Stephen Kubo Fulton, 23/7/25. His next fight, 23/12. Marlon Tapales. Look. Oh, by the way, he won 2 belts here, 2 belts here, 4 belts here. He won 8 belts within 1 year. Notice that? Okay, let's move on. Look at 7, 12, 5. Look, 9, 24, 24. Look, 23, 12, 5, 9, 1. Look, 5, 9, 12. 4 times a year. Look, he's just on schedule. Why? What would tell me he's not going to fight 4 times a year? And his entire career, that's all he does. The only thing that held him back was the corona epidemic that made him that space. That's it. What makes you think he's not going to fight 4 times a year? That's my question. He's coming the last 2 years in 3 years in a row consistently. The only hiccup was during the time of this fight right here with this, and it wasn't his fault. Remember, Sam Goodman prolonged the fight because he cut his eye. Then they extended it, which fucked up his schedule. But not to Naoya Inoue's account. That's all I'm saying. Like, if you leave it up to the man, he's gonna fight 4 times a year. There's nothing that tells me this man is slowing down. Nothing. In 4.5 months, he will be back in the ring. You better believe it. It's not. It's he's just on some other shit, bro. For real, for real. Naoya Inoue is just he's doing some other shit, bro. These fighters are not matching him. You gotta understand when you start realizing what Naoya Inoue is truly starting to do. Right? Hold on. What the hell? Why is this still up? This system is my system is like, hold up. All right, why isn't it unlocking from here though? Let me look at this. For some reason, I don't know. Whatever, dude. So, yeah, I just think that Naoya Inoue is definitely gonna who he fights, what he does. I'm just like you guys. I'm waiting on those kind of decisions to be made. That's above my pay grade right now. I don't have anything on it. What his decisions are, whether he moves up to 126, whether he stays at 122. Dollars and cents, if you ask me, there's just nobody left at 122 that's gonna please the fans and give Naoya Inoue that credibility. I think you just did that. Not unless one other man can come in and try to add a monkey wrench to the equation in Bam Bam Rodriguez. That is the only fighter I think he'll wait for. If Bam Rodriguez got up tomorrow and announced and raised his hand and said, "Hey, listen, Naoya Inoue, I want to fight you for all those belts at 122," he'll make 122 one more time. It's just the
Or he'll duck Bam Bam and move up to 26.
there's no ducking Naoya. Don't even ever mention that word with that man's name. Don't, because he's the greatest to ever do it in our era.
He
Don't do
could
that.
duck, though. He could
No,
just
he's
say,
not. He's not gonna duck. He's not ducking no smoke. If he fought Junto, and the world thinks that Junto might be Bam, so watch the crazy shit that comes out your mouth, because
that's
it's not like
facts.
it's not like Bam Rodriguez is gonna walk through Junto. That's a lie. That's a goddamn lie.
Oh,
That's a
Bam
scary
would
fight
make
right there.
Junto easy work. Way easier
You're
than
just
Inoue did.
doubling down on your bullshit with your shovel, your shit shovel. So stop lying. Listen, um, no, I don't think it would be a good. That would be a crazy fight, Bam and Junto. But if Bam was to announce that he would be interested in a fight with Naoya Inoue, then I don't see him going up to 126. If a fighter like that can come out and entice him, or whether or not it's just Naoya Inoue's decision, if he feels that he has reached his max, he's comfortable where he's at, and he's no longer willing to push the envelope, respect. Respect. You know,
Hey, Kermud says he needs to fight Bam, and then Saul says Inoue moving up will be the biggest news out there, and everyone will go after him. But they don't know that waking up the monster is a bad idea.
a bad idea. Talk to him. Talk to him. This guy right here, Frontline, he's crossed a lot of lines. I see why his name is Frontline, because he's an habitual line stepper. You know what I mean? An habitual.
Hey, don't forget, I create the line.
No, you're an habitual
I
line
create the
stepper.
line. I don't
Okay,
cross lines. I
here's the
create them.
line with Naoya Inoue. You're constantly crossing it. You're an habitual line stepper. Okay, listen. Let me tell you something. Yeah, you're done, son. Every
Yo,
time you pick against the man,
I
he
gotta tell you
wins.
this. I gotta tell you this.
He
Yo,
wins.
the pillow is 2-0, undefeated, undefeated, 2-0. Puerto Rico's down bad. You
The
got to
pillow,
try
the
this.
pillow won again.
Yo, my did it.
Yo, your
Did it.
grandson got a. He's chinny. Your grandson is chinny.
Not because
Yo,
he just back up and he gets a rematch the same
bro,
day.
bro, listen, he's getting knocked out by Pillow Fist over here. You know what I'm
Hey,
saying?
no, check it out. I got beef. I got beef with him because my wife was rocking him, right? And he got a habit of taking his hand and just like palming her boob.
Yeah,
And I told him, I said, "Yo, that's my boob, nigga.
yo,
You better keep your hand
yo,
off."
yo, get your
He got
boy,
no respect.
get your boy,
He
get
got
your
no
boy.
respect.
Yo,
Yo, Ichigo Hollow. He says Inoue said in the post-fight interview that gave up 3 rounds for Junto to give him more confidence. He said rounds 8, 9, and 10. Shout out to Peace to God in the building. He said, "Yo, round 1, by your brother."
What up, my dude? What up, peace to God? Yo, what do you say? Anyways, said in his
In his
post-fight
post-fight interview that
interview
he
that
gave up
gave
three
up
rounds for
three.
Junto to give him more confidence.
Right, right, and I believe that because
Yeah, of course you would.
Junto was relying, sitting back on the back foot and trying to entice Naoya in a way to come in and time him and counter him. That was Junto was his game plan was tailor made around that to try to because Naoya in a way was real fast with the first step, and that's his entry. That's how he starts. So if you can catch him on the way in, good strategy, right? But he wasn't engaging as much. He was real reserved with his punches. So I can see, just like in the Paul Butler fight, in many fights that Naoya Inoue's had, and the Marlon Tapales fight was the same thing, where that he went into the high guard and let the guy hit him. Even in Alan David Picasso, some of the success that Alan David Picasso had in the fight was actually given to him by Naoya Inoue. You know, we saw when Naoya Inoue chose to stop and stay there to allow him to hit him, to give him false confidence so that Naoya Inoue can get him in an exchange. Naoya Inoue, the best way he set that strategy up against the fighter that it worked out flawless was against Jason Maloney. Jason Maloney, he lowered Jason Maloney into a false sense of confidence that he was able to hit Naoya Inoue. He knocked Naoya Inoue, spit right out his mouth, but got knocked down the first time. He traded that for that. Then when he got up, Naoya Inoue kept boxing with Jason Maloney. And Jason Maloney thought that all he had to do is stay with Naoya Inoue. Naoya Inoue rocked him to sleep and walked him right into that big right hand. Boom! Lights out, sat him down. It was spectacular knockout. You know, he'll do that. He'll do that to his opponents when he sees that his opponents are relying on the fact of not being more confrontational. You know, and I mean, in a way, saw Junto respected him too much.
Sawadi says Naoya Inoue is the best boxer we've ever seen and has a chance to go down as the GOAT if he goes to undisputed at 26.
Um, he has a strong argument right now for GOAT status, but unfortunately, in boxing, it's probably the only sport that GOAT status can't be awarded to until you retire. Boxing is like a painters or musicians or somebody famous. They live that kind of lifestyle. Like their paintings don't become priceless until they die. Type shit. GOAT status is not awarded in boxing because we know these boxers don't retire well. You can retire undefeated, come back and lose your next 10 consecutive fights and get knocked out the ring. Then all of a sudden, is that your GOAT? Or do you want us to not remember when Roy Jones Jr. lost 10 times? You got to add that into the equation. These fighters damage their own careers. They're crazy. And the more losses you pack on to that, the more Manny Pacquiao goes out there and keeps fucking with his career, the further away he's going to get away from that GOAT conversation. He's not even in the room anymore. You got too many losses. You got knocked out too many times. You got knocked out 3 times. That's not a GOAT. So you got to retire and stay retired. Then we tally up what you did. Then there's qualifications for GOAT conversations. You got to meet the first criteria. What did you do? Then you got to meet the next criteria. Or how many divisions you jumped? How many divisions you got? Your opponents. That's in the first criteria bracket. Then like how many Hall of Famers you fought. And if you mirror the next GOAT, they go to your opponents. What kind of champions were your opponents? How strong were they? To define you know what I mean? How many world champions did you fight? throughout how many divisions. Now you got to start entering different conversations, different rooms. There's different tiers of GOAT status in boxing, and we have different GOATs for different reasons. There's the heavyweight GOAT that can't is Ali, but the heavyweight GOAT, it can't compete against the rest of the GOATs in the other divisions. Why? Heavyweight champions play by a different set of rules. They don't cut weight. They're their own division. So rightfully so, they have their own GOAT. They don't play by our rules. So now the GOAT in the division that cuts weights, now that's an argument. The men that are in the room are fighters like Sugar Ray Robinson, Floyd Mayweather. There's a couple that are in the room, in that room. Then you have a different type of tier of accomplishment GOATs. They might not have the resume like the fighters behind them, but they accomplished a lot. You know what I'm saying? And there's fighters like that where they dominated in one weight division. They have like 17, 27, 30 title defenses in one division, but they never were a 4-division world champion type dudes.
Hey, Edwin, out of everybody that Inoue has fought, who would you think would make a future Hall of Famer?
Future Hall of Famers of Junto is going to the Hall of Fame for 3 divisions already. He's a Hall of Famer already. Nonito Donari is a future Hall of Famer already. You got Stephen Kubo Fulton has the potential to go in the Hall of Fame. He's already a 2-division world champion. He just fought in his 3rd weight division. Let's see where he ends up. You know, he's still got time, and he can put some more behind that resume. So Stephen Kubo Fulton, he might have an argument to get into the Hall of Fame when it's all said and done. Let's see where he goes with it. But those are already some of the Hall of Fame fighters that I named that Naoya Inoue has fought. Let's see.
So 2 guys, and you think he's the greatest of all time? Or will be considered the greatest of all time?
No, it's just not that. To be the greatest of all time, you can't just have one accolade. That doesn't define you. See, Naoya Inoue fought 17 world champions. He knocked out 13 of them so far. And his career's not over, right?
Hold on. I got to address Mule. Fuck you. He says, I miss Frontline eating crow.
Yeah, he'll get some more. Yo, listen. Okay.
Carcass said to drop the link.
Okay, I will. The problem that makes you the GOAT is, a multitude of things, not just one thing. Naoya Inoue has 4 divisions. If you look up the history, how many people have 4 divisions through the 120 years or whatever boxing's been around, right? There's not that many men. There are even fewer in 5 weight divisions. I think there's only 3 to 4 men in the world that have 5 weight divisions. I think there's like 3 men that have 6 weight divisions, right? But there's no man in boxing that had 7. Remember when they tried to make it like Manny Pacquiao had 8, and then they busted that bubble like a few years ago? We found out he only has 6. So he only really has 6. But Manny Pacquiao fought in 8 divisions. Yes, he fought in actually 8 divisions. Yes, he did.
Hey,
you can't take that away from him.
Mule says Iron Barkley is a 3-time division champ, went 2-0 against Tommy Hearns, and is not in the Hall of Fame. Ricky Burns is a 3-time division champ that shouldn't get him in the Hall of Fame.
Well, it depends your credentials and what you got. Do you have title defenses with that? Or are you just a one belt kind of guy that went into one division? Because The argument with Terrence Crawford is he has 5 weight divisions, but wait a minute, you didn't clear out the division at 154 and you didn't clear out the division at 168. I mean, you don't technically have to clear out the division, but you only got one fight in each of those divisions. That's all you got is one fight. That's not a
people
good.
in the history books are going to look at what's on paper. They're not going to follow the rabbit hole.
No, that's not a rabbit hole. That's what's on paper. When you look on paper, you're going to notice only one fight. That's on paper. And you're going to say, okay, you only fought one guy here and one guy here. Does that prove your dominance? Did that prove you absolutely... Oh, listen, we can't keep going off this bullshit. I beat the man that beat the man that beat the man that beat the man. You're going to make Terrence Crawford this heroic champion off all of Saul's wins? Saul did that. Saul made his name at 168. All you did was beat Saul. Great for you. He beat everybody else, but you're only going to get credit for Saul. Now go beat up everybody else Saul did. Now we're talking. But you're not going to mysteriously get all of Saul's work. It doesn't work that way. You only got one fight at 168 and one fight at 154. Were you this dominant champion? No. Not when you got fighters like Felix Trinidad, got 19 title defenses and one division. No, you're not better than him. Not in that division, in that weight. You can't even be considered the best fighter of all time at 168. No. Are you the best fighter of all time at 154? No. Shit, here's one better. Are you the greatest fighter at 147 boxing's ever seen? The greatest champion? Terrence Crawford? No. He never defended none of those belts. Except the WBO, my bad. Right? So does that make him the best fighter in the super welterweight division? Does it make him the best middleweight champion of all time? Terrence Crawford? No, he's there because of accolades. He's there because he was able to do it, but he wasn't the greatest middleweight to ever exist. And that's where you punch holes in his resume. You got the accolades. Yes, you're in this type of room. You're the type of guy that you got the awards, you got the accolades for it.
Shout out to Ryan So Tough. He said round uno, best podcast.
Thanks.
Neil says 100. Saul says, I saw the two-tone video where he was talking shit about the fight, but to no one's surprise, he brought up Shakur, just straight glazing the man. That mofo needs to hop off Shakur's D.
Yo, check this out. I want to say something about his two tones little short and how it can mislead you. They point at Terrence Crawford and they see him dozing off in a chair in a boxing match, right? And they say, look how boring the Naoya inoue fight is. Wow, really? Did you try to pull that one off? Well, here, let me advise the people what really happened in real time. You mean to tell me that's Terrence Crawford, same guy that lives in Omaha, that traveled to Japan, 13, 14, 16-hour different time zone. He's not adjust to the time zone. So he's actually up when he's supposed to be sleeping. You act like you almost said something.
Said something.
He's going to be tired naturally.
Two-tone almost said something?
Almost said something. Brother, that happens to every human in Earth when you cross time zones. I don't care how good the event or the concert is. You're going to fall asleep. Bro, it's like the man was exhausted. What do you want him to do? They dragged him halfway across the world. Stop it. Stop it.
Mio says Bud is a great fighter, goes without question, but people calling him the greatest ever really don't know enough about the history.
Right.
Mio says American agenda. Peace to guy says almost.
Almost said something, bro. But to the casual fan, he'll hook, line, and sinker. Oh shit! Look at he's falling asleep. It's true.
It's a
No,
boring fight.
it's a boring fight. No, you got an exhausted man right there. He's been up on his feet all day, getting in locker rooms, taking pictures with people. Just got off a plane from 16 hours, and he got to get rushed to the fight. What you think he was going to stay up? Bro, I was watching the David Benavidez card with you guys, and I knew that the fight was exciting, and I was falling asleep. It
Yeah, you were.
happened to me.
Yep. It was a long night yesterday, though.
And I had a long day. And though the fight was exciting, bro, I couldn't keep my eyes open. Same shit that happened to Terrence Crawford. And you're going
Hey, I
to
ain't gonna
act
lie,
like he
though.
was falling asleep. Come on, bro.
That Munguia-Resendez fight kind of put us to sleep a little bit. I ain't gonna
Yeah,
lie.
yeah, but listen, it didn't matter though. But he didn't fall asleep because the fight was boring. He was exhausted.
Yeah,
And
but
I
it
can
wasn't
feel
during the
it.
actual fight. If you go back and look at that
No,
video,
it
it
wasn't
wasn't during the fight.
during the actual fight, correct. But still, I debunked his shit with just a little logic. I said to myself, falling asleep, Terrence Crawford. What was he doing that day? Shit, he was on a plane, coming down, doing this, doing that. He was over here, filmed over here, doing that. Man, this man's exhausted. Just like me on the live. I was exhausted. But what they're going to try to do is the corruption of hate and trying to spew the name of a great one. What I always said, if they can't beat you in the ring, smear his name. Say that his fights are boring. And then what does Naoya have to do with Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson? Why do you got to bring them up? Why do you got to use them to shit on him? It's always told to me when somebody projects shit onto you, it's because they know they're bullshit and they're full of shit. And all they're trying to do is shit on a great one. And I told you here around One Sports TV, I don't give a fuck what skin color you are, what nationality. If you can fight, you can fight. You got my respect. And I told you, I love every man and woman boxer that laces up, even to the guy that got the worst record in all of boxing. 139 fights, he got knocked out 139 times. And I admire that guy. Okay?
Yeah, that's my grandson's record right now.
I admire that guy. Why? Because he has the balls to lace it up time and time again and still go and chase what he wanted to do. He wanted to fight. Wasn't good at it, apparently, but he still wanted to do it. So listen, I'm not going to let them sit here and try to shit on this Japanese dude just to bring their
Melasa got another
up.
point, Edwin.
What's that?
Melasa has another point. That 420, that new strand he's on today,
Yeah.
might be a little bit better. He says always trying to degrade the other guy. If Inoue isn't that great, why did everyone wake up at 6 a.m. on Saturday?
You know it because he is great. Because he is great. You know, and the world's starting to recognize who he is. And boxing fans knew what they were looking at yesterday. And I'm telling you, bro, that fight with Junto and Naoya Inoue, yo, that was like a mongoose and a king cobra. yo, every punch. I mean, for real, if Naoya Inoue didn't really want to let Junto touch him, I don't think he could. Let Naoya Inoue play off the back foot and let Junto assume the other role. Like Naoya Inoue took his role. Naoya Inoue accepted the danger role. Naoya Inoue was on the highway to the danger zone, right? Yo, and Junto, it was evident he was inviting him in. But let's reverse the roles. Let's reverse the roles. Put Naoya Inoue on the back foot and have Junto come in. You think the fight goes 12 rounds? No. Naoya Inoue was much sharper. He proved it. When Junto pushed him up against that rope, bro, Naoya Inoue lit that ass up, bro. You seen that straight right Naoya hit him with? From far out. He was all the way out here. He hit a Steph Curry shot on his chin. He went like this, bang, like quick. Yo, Junto went back. He was shocked. He was like, the fuck was that? He was like, but you can't keep doing the same thing because these kind of fighters pick up on patterns. You got to understand that Junto reads patterns. Naoya Inoue reads patterns. Junto's setting traps. He's setting traps.
Did you see in a way get confused with the level changes when Junto kept level changing? He kept freezing in a way. He kept freezing. And when you said it on the live,
listen.
He was freezing in a way.
I'm freezing in a way in the his stance is not confusion.
It's confusing.
I don't know where you're getting confused. See, you almost said
didn't know what to do.
You almost said, what do you mean he didn't know what to do? If he didn't know what to do.
Saul said they using Bud to trash Inoue's fight because it went to decision, but Bud's fight went to decision with Canelo.
Yeah.
Neil says, I heard a lot of people tearing down Inoue's performance like it wasn't dominant enough. When you are fighting another pound-for-pound fighter, it's supposed to be close, like Bivol versus Benavidez.
Yes, and it's supposed to be
Jason
like a jousting
Ayala
match.
In the building.
Yep, go ahead. Keep going.
Shout out to Jason in the building. And then Ryan So Tough says, when the fighter they want to lose wins, it's boring.
Exactly. Let me tell you something. That Naoya Inoue fight and Junto fight was that was top of the line. That was top shelf boxing. Really, it really was. Every punch had to be earned. Every foot placement, every position. No one could make a mistake. They were basically two guys dancing around for 36 minutes with dynamite in their hand. At any second, at any moment, that one of those guys could have landed, and it could have been your ass. That's it.
Yo, to be honest,
what it was.
That
it was just like
that fight is the true definition of the sweet science of the sport.
Yeah,
because it went both ways. Like in a way was calculated, and so was Junto. It was like there was try not to make any mistakes. It was hit and don't get hit, even though they both got hit. But it was one of those. It was real tactical on both ends.
Yeah, we got my boy Chicago Kills in the building. What it do, my boy?
Gentlemen.
Chicago, what you got for us today? What you got for us? Come on with it. Come with it, man. Come on, man.
Yeah, so I just want to say what's up, round one, frontline. How y'all doing?
What's up, Chicago?
What's up? Been listening. You know what? I kind of stopped listening when you were talking about Terrence taking all the juice from Canelo because he beat him and all that.
Who said that?
Well, no, that you were saying that you said that I was all right, Spider. No. Remember that movie from Goodfellas, Spider, when you get shot in the foot?
Yeah.
Okay, no. You were saying that Terrence doesn't get the credit for beating Canelo at 68. So he shouldn't, and I agree with you.
No. Terrence, no. What I said was Terrence should not get Canelo's credit for what Canelo did at 68. That's Canelo's. You don't beat Canelo and inherit all his wins. I'm sorry, it doesn't work that way.
I think the super fight right now, since Benavidez beat up Zurdo really, really bad. Oh man, Benavidez will put out a showcase. He was super fast, super accurate, super strong.
No, he exceeded. He exceeded my expectations. That's what happens when a fighter shows up and really, silences all the critics and the doubters. What David Benavidez did in that ring right there, he silenced all my worries and doubts of what if he can do, what not. I've never seen him here. I got information on David as a cruiserweight now. I know what he looks like now. I know who he is in cruiserweight now. He made a statement. Yeah, now I got something to talk about. Yeah.
And you know what I think though? You think he? Let me ask you a question. Round one and front line.
Yep.
You think he can go back, go back down to 168?
He could if he wanted to. I wouldn't say that far.
60
175's
is
there.
pushing it. 60
Yeah,
is pushing.
68 pushing it. 175 would have been if you said 175, and that's pushing it.
Because I want to see him
168.
fight Crawford. I want to see somebody beat the shit out of Crawford.
Well,
I
Crawford's
want that.
retired right now, and he's enjoying
Ah,
his his
he's
his uh his money. He just put out a video today this morning, walking in Japan and shit. And he's like, he's all set with money. He's good. The boxing world wants him to come back, but he sees no reason to come back. He
let me
want
add this onto my argument from earlier about Crawford. I agree with you for round one front line. I kind of disagree when you had brought up that that the people are not going to like on paper the people are not going to run down the rabbit hole, but we run down the rabbit hole as fans and boxing and lovers of the sport, and we're going to be around probably for another 50 years. So this is going to keep going and going and going. That
which
Crawford
way are you
beating
going with this?
Canelo. Say again.
Which way are you going this? What's the rabbit hole you're going down? That the fact that the
Well,
fans are going to still back Saul, come out and say
yeah.
it, or that the fans are going to choose a new face of boxing for Mexican
No.
boxing is David the Monster Benavidez. Which rabbit hole
No,
are
no,
you
no, no,
going
no.
down?
I'm saying that the fans and the pundits and everybody, they're gonna look at Crawford's resume. They're gonna still dissect his resume even in the future, and they're gonna
Oh,
say that yeah, he did beat Canelo, but he wasn't that much of a great because he didn't really showcase anything else with anybody else, and then he retired early.
well, let the
People
let
are gonna
the
separate those.
fighting gods sort all that out. I think that's above our pay grade right here, right now. I'm not going to sit here
Yeah,
and
you guys were talking about it, so I just
yeah,
kind of
yeah, we were definitely talking about it, right? But look, he's going to the Hall of Fame. Wherever you place him, Terrence, he is the first man in boxing history to get all four belts in three separate weight divisions. At the end of the day, you won't be able to take that accolade away from him. So, although your argument is based on, you know, what I was saying, that it's not like he wiped out the 168. It's not like he's going down in history as the greatest 168 pounder in the world. No, Canelo got the argument for that. He's still, even though he beat him. When we talk about the best 147 pound, the best 154 pounder in the world to ever do it, I don't think Crawford can beat these guys. He got a little case at 147, but I think he's gonna lose in a three belt era. So look, as far as accolades, like I said, I expressed this. He's in a different kind of room, Canelo Alvarez, but he's there. He's there. And if you're gonna put Canelo in the room later, be underneath him. Because Canelo's not undefeated. Canelo doesn't have three divisions where he has all four belts. Canelo got better quality opponents, yes. Better title matches. I can't argue that. But Terrence will stay in front of him if it's looking like that. But there are definitely fighters that are in front of Terrence that did a lot more to solidify their claim as a dominant champion. Terrence doesn't have that kind of claim. His claim is not like one of Saul's arguments. We can argue for Saul that he's the best 160 pounder of all time. We could argue that,
hey, but how about
but you
the
can't do that with Terrence.
you can't, and you're
You
never
can't.
gonna be able to. You can
You're
always
not
be
going
like,
to be
well,
able to
look,
do that with
he
him. No.
retired. He retired right away in his prime. He left a lot of money on the table. He took his ball. He went home. People could say that about him. There's a lot of work
Actually,
being left
no.
out here. There's so much work out here
Yeah, yeah,
for
yeah, yeah.
Terrence.
But you
He's
can't.
in his prime,
No, no, no,
and
no, no, no,
he has
no.
so much
Wrong, wrong,
more
wrong, wrong,
money
wrong, wrong. Wait, wait,
and
wait,
so
wait, wait,
much
wait, wait.
more legacy. One second, round one. I just want to land the plane. So when the people in the future talk like, where was Terrence? Who was Terrence? They're gonna be like, you know what? Terrence was on the brink of either being great or keeping where he's at as like a mediocre, great Hall of Famer. right now he's on the threshold. He's on the cusp of becoming a great, or just staying where he's at. And it's all up to him.
Okay, first of all, as far as leaving money on the table, who am I or who are you to dictate what a man left on a table or whatever? If he says he's all done. Like Andre Ward. You know, a lot of people can say Andre Ward had a lot of time in his tank. He retired too early. But who are we to tell these fighters when to retire and to stop taking damage? You know what I mean? Like, you can't say that Terrence. Hold on, I got to mute your mic for a second. I can't say that Terrence Crawford's career is based on someone's opinion or when he decided to walk out. I believe that's his decision to call it quit and stop risking it all. And as far as you saying he still had a lot of legacy, Terrence is up there in age. Don't you remember that, my dude? He's about to hit 40. Like, he's not up there in age. I mean, still a spring chicken. So there wasn't a lot of time. And you win it as a fighter. Is it that you decide to stop risking it all? You know what I mean? Like, to say, yo, I'm going to walk away on top. I'm going to walk away with the big bag of money. I'm going to walk away with all the belts. I think that would be the best way to walk away, you know, to the game. So I can't criticize him for that. You know, you can't put your expectations, Chicago Kills, on Terrence Crawford. That's not fair. You can't put your expectations of what you think he's going to be as a fighter, what he should do. He's his own man. He's going to decide that, Chicago. I got you. You understand, Chicago? You there? Chicago. Your mic is muted from your end. I'm gonna let Chicago work out whatever he's working out. But yeah, man. You know, Chicago, you can't say you're salty because Terrence Crawford
I'm right here,
beat your
buddy.
guy. All right. You can't say you're salty because he beat Saul and didn't give him a shot back at those belts. That's like me and you, Chicago, rolling dice, and I beat you for out of your $20. I beat you
But you're
for
always gonna run it
19.
back. You're always gonna run it back.
Nah, bro.
That's
You're the type of
gentleman-like.
dude.
That's a running back.
Okay,
That's
okay.
mandatory, right?
That's
I
no.
think I would say.
Actually, no, it's not mandatory. It's actually not mandatory. It's honorable, but it's up to the person that won. That's just like, man, you're the type of guy, Chicago Kills. You strike me as the type of guy that if me and you were rolling dice and we had 21s, not a $20 bill, 21s, and I rolled the dice 20 times and I beat you for all your 21. You're the type of guy that go in your pocket, take out a $20 bill and say, let's
Yeah,
go. Double or
fucking go
nothing for this
again.
20.
Fuck
You're
it, why
that
not?
guy, ain't you?
But look, man. But in reality, let's say Terrence got two more fights, two more. That's great.
Here's reality. Chicago
It
Kills.
doesn't have to be Canelo.
Check it out. Here's reality. Chicago Kills. No, I'm not gonna play you for that $20. I'll give you change for the $20. I'll give you 21s, and we could play for one at a time. I didn't win it from you at a 20 a time. I wanted from you $1 at a time. I'm not gonna give you an opportunity to put down
I get it.
$20
I get the
and
argument.
roll
I
one
think it's a
time.
weak argument.
Hell no. Hell no. You're gonna have to get it like I got
I
it.
mean, that's not
You're gonna have
boxing.
to beat me
Not
20
boxing.
times like you made me beat you 20 times.
So you're saying that Bud should fight Canelo 20 times, or what are you
No.
talking about here?
What I'm saying is I gave you your opportunity. You gave me
Of course.
mine.
Yeah, but Canelo
I don't
gave
owe you anything.
Yeah, he does, because Canelo
I
gave
don't know he
Bud the
doesn't.
biggest fight
He
in his
doesn't
career.
owe that man. Oh, hey, how about this?
What do you think?
How about this? If you were arguing right now for anybody, any other fighter in the world, I would probably agree with you. But we are talking about Saul Canelo Alvarez that doesn't revenge none of his losses. We
Oh
are
man,
talking about
now
him,
we're really
right?
going through a rabbit hole. I mean, that's a
You know,
rabbit hole.
we are talking about the guy that does not never avenged any of his losses. So don't try to sell me that he's really talking about fighting Terrence when his pattern, his record does not show that. He never gave Laura a rematch. So if you were talking about any other fighter, I might agree with you. But you're capping right now. You almost said something. Almost. Canelo should have asked for a rematch clause ahead of the fight. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Don't you guys understand that he had a rematch clause put in place for Bivol? There was a rematch clause in the Bivol fight. And after he lost to Demetrius Bivol, he denied the rematch at 175. So Demetrius Bivol came out publicly and said, check this out, Saul. I'll fight you at 168. I'll go down to your weight division. And Saul still denied the fight. So how about that? There was a rematch clause put in place. Saul terminated the rematch clause, and then Bivol challenged him in his own weight, and he said no. What makes me think he's going to fight Terrence? He never fought Floyd. Huh? Where's your proof that he goes after it in blood? If you were talking about anybody else, I might have agreed with you. Maybe. I'm just talking facts, people. I'm not shitting on Saul. This is not me taking shots at Canelo Alvarez. No. This is just me pointing out what he did in his career. Is that my fault? That this is the way shit is? That's my fault. Now I'm the asshole for pointing out what Saul did. No. Saul made those decisions. Not me. He decided not to fight Floyd. He decided not to rematch Demetrius Bivol. Saul did that. Now, he didn't want to fight Laura the second time when the world was saying, fight Laura. He decided to duck David the Boss of Benavidez. Not me. I'm just telling you what he did. Don't shoot the messenger. There's no evidence that shows me he wants that smoke with Terrence. And to be honest with you, Saul, leave Terrence alone. You're not going to beat him. Leave that alone. The money is, then Saul, if he loses to Terrence, he falls in that category of men that rematched and lost. Now their credibility as the best really falls to the wayside. Just ask AJ. Just ask Tyson Fury. How'd that work out for him? Losing twice to Usyk. Before that, he was revered as one of the greatest heavyweights to ever do it. Now you go ahead and lose not once but twice to Usyk. Boy, you fell down from all the way up here, from one of the greatest heavyweight champions to ever do it, to down here somewhere. Because why? Because you lost to the same guy twice. You're going to be in that, and Saul understands that. He didn't want to lose twice to Floyd. He didn't want to lose twice to Demetrius Bivol. You're going to start going into that conversation of men that you were never that dude. If you only lost once to that guy, you still can add. You know what I mean? They start talking you up like those losses never occurred. Now you're in the room with Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, AJ. Do you view them as the greatest heavyweight champions to ever live now? That's what happens when you lose twice to the same guy. That's what happens. And Canelo's not going to sign up for that. Canelo seems like he understood that a long time ago in his career. Never lose twice to the same man. He ain't fighting Terrence Crawford again. Are you guys crazy? What in his track record ever told you he was going to do that? What? What evidence do you have? Yeah, right. It's not happening. It's not happening. I feel like some people are, salty because Crawford played Listen, no matter how you feel with Crawford, whether you want to add the situations into the equation, the belt money, the sanctioning fees, the fact that he rolled off into sunset with all the gold, you know what I'm saying? No matter how you view it, he pulled off the heist of the century. He literally, Crawford did the Italian job by himself. He got away with all that gold. And he took off like a thief in the night. Many people are mad. They mad. They like, yo, Crawford, where you going? He's Crawford gone. He done left y'all standing right there. Took off with the whole bag. Crawford. I wonder how much money they gave him to go out to Japan as an ambassador. Yo, and speaking of which, I'm going to end it with this. I have some things I got to take care of. Check this out, guys, right? When we're talking about the magnitude of these fights, David the Monster Benavidez fight with Zurdo, Naoya Inoue with Junto. We talk about situations like in these fights and what's at stake. Naoya Inoue, let's keep in mind there was 4 belts on the line, 5 actually with the Ring magazine. Not only that on the line, but when David the Monster Benavidez won his belts, what's the toughest thing they gave him? A copy of the belts, and they took pictures. The WBA president was there, took pictures. The WBO representative was there, took pictures. That's all they did for David the Monster Benavidez for winning both their belts. Keep that in mind. When Naoya Inoue won in Japan, they had a commemorative belt, and they had him a solid gold ring like Terrence Crawford and Saul Canelo Alvarez ring. They had another one. Naoya Inoue had it on his thumb, and the interview was on his thumb. The WBC gave him $150,000 one of one ring for that event. The Tokyo Dome Arena was inside the ring with all the diamonds and everything inside of it. That's what Naoya Inoue won. He won a tricked out belt, $150,000 ring, all 4 belts, and the Ring magazine. What was more? What match was more? Who had more on the line? Yeah, that was a great weekend of boxing. Both the monsters performed. In my mind, they both earned the name. They both overachieved in the match. A lot of people thought that Junto fight was going to be a lot closer. Naoya Inoue schooled him. He schooled him. He did it in a slick way, in a calculated way. But make no mistake, he did school Junto. That's a high level schooling. It's going to look a little different, but I know what happened in there. And Naoya Inoue, shouts out to you, man. You walked in the fire and the danger, and you proved why you are the best. And you woke up this morning, pound for pound, in my book, the best pound for pound fighter in the world, because no matter what happens in that Usyk fight versus that kickboxer with a 1-0 boxing record, no matter if Usyk goes out there and starches him, you still fought a guy with a 1-0 record. Never a world champion in boxing, no divisions, a 1-0 record. With a guy with a 1-0 record, and Naoya Inoue fighting a guy, a 3-division world champion, unified champion, coming up, undefeated, a real undefeated record. Yeah, Naoya Inoue's challenge is going to be much tougher than Usyk's, and I think rightfully so. They should award Naoya Inoue the number 1 spot where he should have been this entire time. So, fight fans, thank you for tuning in. Please don't forget to hit this like button. Do that for me. Leave a chat, a comment in the message. Tell me what you think about the video. Tell me where in the video you think I should address something, or where would you like, or who would you like to see these fighters fight next? Leave it in the comments, and I'll see you guys on the next one after this one here at Round One Sports Talk. I've been your host, Round One. It's been my pleasure.